There's a new statue in Boston of Martin Luther King. I guess. The statue is getting a lot of play online because some have said, there are two theories on what it looks like. Some have said that it looks like, it's just arms interwoven together. Some have said that from certain angles, it looks like a man engaged in another kind of embrace, which is not as wholesome as the embrace of two arms. That's one. Some have said it looks like a man holding up a part of one's body that is not an arm. And some have said that it looks like a guy hoisting up excrement. That I'm trying to clean up all the jokes that I've seen online about this very, very ugly statue. But apparently, according to the artist, it is a statue commemorating an embrace between Martin Luther King and his wife, Coretta King. And the sculptor Hank Willis Thomas says that he saw this 1964 photo of MLK wrapping Coretta up for a hug after hearing that he'd won the Nobel Peace Prize. And so this modern artist decided to depict this in a sculpture only with the arms. And it's really, really ugly. Why is it ugly? Most people don't seem to identify why the sculpture is ugly. The sculpture is ugly because it is grotesque. And the sculpture is grotesque in precisely the way that modernity is grotesque, which is that it forgets that people are supposed to have heads and chests. So the modern art is depicting people as just weird limbs, disconnected from the rest of the body, disconnected from the most important parts of the body. The mind that makes us rational, and the chest, which gives us spiritedness, which represents courage, which represents our beating heart, the lifeblood moving through us. Modernity doesn't view men through the lens of heads and chests. C.S. Lewis wrote a very, very famous work on men without chests, men who lose their spiritedness, men who lose their manliness. And the whole culture seems to have lost its head, has completely lost its reason. That's why we let men go into the girls' room and why we listen to what stupid Dr. Fauci has to say. Okay, so people know intuitively that modern art is ugly and grotesque and we don't like it. And yet we keep seeing so much more of it. Why is that? One, it's because of the absolute perversion of the people who happen to be in power. But two, it's because we often fail to give perfectly rational explanations of why modern art is so ugly. But we all know it's ugly. You look at a 14th century cathedral and you look at the embrace, this weird melange of arms kind of scooping together. We know that one is more beautiful than the other. Look at the Pietà, look at the embrace. Tell me which one's more beautiful. Look at beautiful Gothic buildings. Look at ugly, modern skyscraper type buildings. We know that the former are more beautiful than the latter. But we don't trust our own prejudices. We don't trust our own gut. Our gut is right more often than our scientists are. That is a fact. Rudyard Kipling wrote a great piece on this, a great poem, the gods of the copybook headings. And wise people throughout all of human history have understood that time-tested wisdom, the wisdom of the tradition, is 99 times out of 100 at least going to be better than whatever newfangled idea happens to pop into your head. This is why I'm often defending traditional conservatism as opposed to different brands of conservatism, like neoconservatism or libertarianism, which is often lumped in with conservatism. I often go back to traditional conservative views with an emphasis on tradition. Not because I think that a practice that has been done for a long time is the be-all and end-all, and that any old practice ought to be continued into perpetuity, but just because I trust the wisdom of the countless generations of men who came before us more than I trust the prideful ideas of some over-credentialed, undereducated dummy in a lab coat. Head on over, become a member right now. Use code Knowles, K-N-O-W-L-E-S, dailywire.com/Knowles. Use code Knowles at checkout for 2 months free on all annual plans.